I am the Namer, guardian of the names of power. Before your world even existed, my people were an ancient race. Now they are gone, and only I remain, keeper of my people's history. Across the endless tracts of space have I traveled, to return to the planet of my birth, Zoidstar. Though my people perished long ago, and their cities were buried by the shifting sands, the machines remain. It is these that have brought me here to perform the last act of the Zoidarian race, the giving of the names of power. When my race was young and had an interest in the affairs of the galaxy, they built the machines, mighty engines of destruction which gave the power of life and death over the other creatures in the galaxy. The Zoidarians turned their gaze outward and laid waste to 1,000 star systems with their machines, their Zoids. But ruling a galaxy was not enough for the Zoidarians. It was not the conquests, but the battles they enjoyed. And though all intelligent life trembled in the shadow of the Zoids, my people battled on, machine against machine, Zoidarian against Zoidarian, in the further pursuit of glory. Zoidarian lives were needlessly sacrificed to the god of battle, and the race dwindled in numbers until the elders outlawed the Zoid duels. But they couldn't outlaw the Zoidarian love of combat. The Zoidarian pilots of the giant war machines were replaced by androids, and thus the heroic combat could continue without threat to Zoidarian life. Too late came the order. Too late to save a once mighty race from extinction, and now only I remain. Only I and the Zoids. And though my people created the Zoids, I have no power to control them. For the war machines have become the living embodiment of the Zoidarian thirst for combat, with lives and wills of their own. They exist only to fight, to ensure that their heroic combat lasts for all eternity. Now I stand on the sand-blasted surface of a world I used to call home, high on a rock, scanning the horizon for some sign of movement, knowing that out there, behind the sand clouds, lurk the deadliest war machines in the universe. It begins!
On planet Z, Xenopus conquest versus Helic free. Cutting-edge science from Earth changed the game, but more innovation we must reclaim. Infantry swords of the Republic come. Empire needs its own soldiers and then some. So birthed from copied those Zoids they are. The Xenopus war machines, the Iguan star. Iguanodon droid war machines. Cruise to dinosaurs on our screens. Forged of red and silver metal. Iguans, a photo's business they will settle. Iguans. Iguanodon droid war machines. Iguans. Cruise steel dinosaurs on our screens. Iguans. Forged of red and silver metal. Kodo's business they will settle. So the second war reaches its midpoint now. Iguans wage battle with the dose and how. Robotic dinosaurs exchange gunfire. Vessels of empire and republic ire. Battle after battle our forces fight. Iguans embody Xenopus empire might. The Helicodos won't stand in our way. Stolen and improved tech will seize the day. Iguanodon droid war machine. Cruel steel dinosaurs on our screen. Forged of red and silver metal. Iguans, so good as business they will settle. Godo's business they will settle. Will tear our foes apart. Full barrel impacts, guns blast them for a start. Laser machine guns and beam cannons fire. Iguans possess all the might we require. Iguans, Iguanodon droid war machine. Iguan, cruise to dinosaurs on our screen. Iguan, forged of red and silver metal. Iguans are Godo's business, they will settle. Iguans. Iguanodon droid war machines. Iguans. Crew steel dinosaurs on our screens. Iguans. Forged of red and silver metal. Iguans. Our Godo's business they will settle.
Rally, but we won't despair. Let my saber, our new soldiers emerge. Monster machines like Iguanodon surge. Forged in black and gray steel with orange eyes. The Zillons keep vigil for red Zoid spies. Zillons, Iguanodon Zoids of black steel. Zillons, which blue guardians now reveal. Zillons, laser guns in steel nice hands. With laser guns and steel vice hands. Zillons will purge red mutants from our lands. With orders from God, the Zillons depart. Zillon commander leads their mission start. Journey to Slaughter Valley under night. Root out the battle remains at the site of faded red Zoids missing from the place. 4 dead red mutants gone without a trace. Zillon of this mystery. Zillon seek the culprit's conspiracy. Zillons, Iguanodon Zoids of black steel. Zillons, which blue guardians now reveal. Zillons, laser guns in steel vice hands. Zillons, flash red mutants from our lands. Now come the renegade Zoids to battle. Broken from blue Zoid control, no chattel. Black Rhino shoots down some in steel rage. Blue Guardians ready for new Zoidstar age. Zillons, Iguanodon Zoids of black steel. Zillons, which blue Guardians now reveal. Zillons, laser guns in steel vice hands. Zillons, flash red mutants from our lands.
It is the never-ending battle between red and blue Zoids. It has been waged for centuries. It rages still, with no end in sight.
I, the Namer, last of the Zoidarians, guardian of the names of power, keeper of the legend of heroic combat, have spoken.